And do you mind if I smoke?
Go ahead.
I'm a real California bitch ginger. I love to smoke some good weed. Shout out to High Tolerance.
Slabalicious.
The best weed I've ever smoked.
I might take a hit. I smoke. Hey, that one guy got me to drink some liquor on this day. I ain't finna smoke no weed. They'd really be laughing at me.
Oh, we'll be here all day talking real shit. That we can't give that to them. That's too much.
I ain't smoking no weed.
But this is Slabalicious. This shit tastes so good.
I don't smoke Indo, don't play Nintendo, and damn sure ain't pretendo. Oh boy.
So I have another question regarding the hip hop politics. How do you feel about the YSL case? Shout out Free Young Thug. If hip hop is lyrics can get you indicted, do you think it's going to change the game?
Well, you know, the Constitution has always been a weird document, right? Because, you know, they say slavery ended, right? The 13th, 14th Amendment ended slavery, but yet, you know, we got mass incarceration in prison. So when you think about mass incarceration, you think about how prisons exist, then you can get to the young thug. Because, you know, America's 5% of the world's population, but 25% of the world's incarceration. In terms of eligibility, the people going to only 6% are eligible black men that can go to jail, but yet they 50% of the prison system. So them using thug as a catapult to take them into the next level and start indicting gangs under the RICO Act. Now that means that somebody commit a crime that ain't got nothing to do with it, they can charge all of us because we're in the same gang. You know, continued criminal enterprise. So I think that Thug is just a case study of what they want to do to the entire community because, you know, the people that went to jail in the 80s for the crack, they didn't got ground. So now they need a whole new system of people, young people to come in that they can finish, you know what I'm saying, doing their job because you got to remember, when they built them prisons back in the day, they had correctional officers, they got people that's employed, people that got jobs. So these jobs got to continue. So they did create a hotel for young black, brown, and yellow men. So what that means, if you got a hotel, you got to have what? Occupancies, right? So they got to occupy these prisons. So, you know, Thug is a good person to use an example, but, you know, the lyrics that he said, you know, should not be used because the First Amendment of the Constitution give us a right, you know, to freedom of speech. But in this case, you know, it's a contradiction. And that's one thing about the law. They can make them and they can break them whenever they want to. So, you know, I think that Young Thug, you know, I said this in one interview a long time, I said that what's going to happen, they're going to give him so many charges that the people are going to start breaking and start snitching. I was 100% correct. I prognosticated that like I was Nostradamus. You know what I'm saying? I mean, now they tell it.
Yeah.
You know, everybody trying to get out because that's what they did back in the 80s. People don't remember that. When they first started giving brothers conspiracy cases, they was giving them life. So a lot of them didn't want to do life, so they just start folding and start snitching.
Right.
And that's what's happening with, you know, a lot of these so-called gangs and stuff like that. So that's why every time I committed a crime, I never had a co-defendant. I was always by myself. Not that I was worried about snitches, I just knew I couldn't snitch on myself.
Right.
You know, and I think that that's what a lot of people, young people need to do. You know what I'm saying? First of all, quit rapping about what you do on lyrics, you know, on video. That's not never cool because they say whatever you say can be used against you in a court of law. And that's the case where they're using the words against Young Thug in a court of law. So you never want to talk about what you're doing, period. You know, even, you know, it's some shit that I done, my mama won't even know.
Right.
You know, she like, boy, did you do that? No, I ain't did nothing, mama.
Right.
You know, because I ain't finna snitch on myself. And I think that, you know, that's the case with a lot of these young people. But, you know, YSL, you know, I think that when all those brothers got on there and said that, you know, it was a gang, I think that that's when they really heard the Thug's case. You know what I'm saying? Even if they don't think they was telling, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they was admitting to something that can come back and bite their partner, you know? And, you know, a lot of guys, you know, they probably got the analogy, well, what was that nigga at when they was over there, you know, they was having all that money. They went around, you know, and that's just the nature. You know, people, they usually start at your feet, then they end up at your throat. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
so, you know what I mean? You got to be careful, you know, who you deal with. I got a saying, you know, get rid of the dead weight. If I put a 10-pound book pack on your back, you know what I'm saying? You want to get rid of it because it's going to make you feel lighter. You know, and then I give another analogy with the eagle. The eagle is the most profound of the human birds. When the eagle flies, it glides. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It got its wings 9 feet. When the eagle see another pigeon or he see a pigeon or something, he fly higher because he know he's flying too low unless he want to eat that pigeon. You know, chickens, chickens can't jump but 3 feet. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's why they can't never be with an eagle. Because when eagles make love, they make love in the air. You know, and chickens, they can't go but 3 feet. I ain't got nothing against a chicken. I ate one today. You know what I'm saying? Me and chicken is cool. You know, keep on being a chicken. But the eagle, when he sees his prey, he can see 100 miles away. The eagle's flaw is when he see a weasel. He go down and he clamp into the weasel, put the weasel to his head, he go up 10,000 feet, ascend 10,000 feet, then he descend 10,000 feet to his death because the weasel eats his heart out. And that's like some weasel bitches, some weasel ass niggas, you know what I'm saying? They all in your business, you know what I'm saying? They stressing you out, you know what I'm saying? About to make you have a cardiac arrest around this bitch, you know what I'm saying? They just so fucked up, you know what I mean? And you gotta get rid of them people, you can't let them go, you gotta let them go. And the eagle never let the weasel go. And every time you hear about eagle dying, it's Jim because he ate the wrong weasel. And every time you hear about a nigga going to jail, usually he's fucking with some weasel ass nigga, little bitch. You know what I'm saying? Me losing her man to another bitch is because she was fucking with a weasel ass bitch.
Yeah, 100%. I totally. That's a great perspective.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about this book. I was looking in this book and I had seen a picture of you and Boosie. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, you know, Boosie and I, you know, we go back a long time. You know, when I first met him, you know, he was in Milwaukee. He didn't have a mink coat, so I gave him one of my mink coats. And I had several mink coats, so I just gave him one. He reached in his pocket, gave me a wad of money. I didn't ask for it. And from then, we became friends. And then, you know, later on in the game, you know, a partner of mine, Steve Love, you know, who I'm business partners with, you know, we started dealing with him on liquor and, you know, Boosie cologne and stuff like that. You know, just basically seeing him as a mogul, you know, and trying to do whatever we can to try to impute wisdom in him. So Steve came to me and said, man, look, let's take this to the next level. Let's get Boosie a book deal. So I went, you know, to my publishing company and I said, you know, I already got the literary program. I'm trying to inspire young people to read. You know, I said, let's start with Boosie, you know, one of my first clients. And then, you know, we was able to get that popping, and now it's a bestseller.
Yeah, that's amazing.
We also did Ice-T book as well.
That's so cool. I love this.
Cross the Tracks, Boosie, Split Decision, Ice-T, Pimpology, Ken. Now this is a classic. You can't find too many people in the game that haven't read Pimpology before they lost a game.
Now, do you drink?
No.
No drinks for you either?
I don't drink,
Well,
I don't
the Bel Air
smoke, I
Barbie.
don't.
We gotta pop a Bel Air.
Yeah.
This is my favorite. I was in Atlanta. I just recorded Bomb Ass Pussy. I went to the club, Blaze, with a couple
Blaze.
friends.
Okay.
We ended up
Is that a
singing
song?
Club Blaze.
So you rap too?
I made a song.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay,
play
I
with
wanna
this
hear it.
music
That'd
shit.
be
I
nice.
love music. I love the culture. I love the industry. I'm too real of a bitch to play in the game. It's too fake for me.
Yeah,
but
fake.
I also can get in, Ferrari Barbie can get in rooms that a regular hoe can't get in.
Yeah.
And I don't mean turning a trick or getting some money for an hour or something. I mean getting in there and being a bad bitch and seeing what people are looking at me and being able to say the right things to the right people.
Yeah, a good game.
So, yes, I've done some music and it's fun.
Okay.
But I'm more about bringing real information to people who want to hear real shit. Because, like I said, everything is watered down. Everything is like,
Studio.
what's the word? It's just fake, but it's like they're like the girls, Cardi B, City Girls, stuff like that. Like they all want to be hoes, and it's all
It's all facade.
it is. And so you don't want like a glass of champagne?
You can pour me some, but
Thank you, Ginger. She's the
I don't
best.
think I'm gonna actually drink it.
Thank you. Here, babe.
That's one of the Barbie girls.
This is the Bad Bitch Boot Camp team.
Bad bitch boot
Yeah.
camp.
We're making basic bitches better.
Yeah, ain't nothing like better.
We make basic bitches better and bad bitches better. Because
Yeah.
you know, bad bitches aren't just like everyone needs some more game. We all want to learn from each other. And like I said, unfortunately, we don't have too many
Real
men
bitches.
to follow these days. So, cheers to Barbie's first boot camp. Thank you so much. But that's where I get to my next
Question.
segment. Real hoes have real questions.
Okay,
we want
have
real
real
answers.
question. Okay, come on, hoes.
Right. So real hoes have real questions. I personally asked a couple of veteran friends of mine. I personally asked a couple vets that I know, if you could ask Pimpin any question with no consequences, what would it be? And can I tell you? Can I ask you a question? Okay. So,
Ask him. Ask that nigga.
oh my gosh. Okay, let me get these questions. I'm so sorry.
Come on now, Barbie.
I
It don't
know,
take that
I'm
long to
coming.
get out the county jail.
It's the Bel Air. Okay, well here, let me just freestyle then. So, in the game, like we were talking earlier, if a bitch stays down and he's just a clown in his game, she's just paying the wrong pimp, right? But she's trying so hard to get her shit together and just do the right thing. She really believes in his pimping. She's investing her money, but she's getting nowhere. This bitch leaves and chooses a new pimp because she sees he's about his money and his bitches are fly and she wants to be just like that. Why is she called a faggot or a choosy Susie when she just is trying to get where she wants to be?
Well, you know, it depends on hooray. Now it depends on the player, right? On the pimp. Like when a bitch fuck with me, she get in my pimp. The first thing I do, I teach a bitch how to choose up on the pimp. I say, send me his number, make sure he call me. I just want to know you're all right, bitch. You know what I'm saying? I want him to have to call the hospital or the county jail looking for your motherfucking ass. Have that pimp to serve me. You know, but some niggas, you know what I'm saying, me, you know, like, I'm the guy that usually do the knocking. I never got knocked. So I knock a nigga for his bitch, and he like, hey, man, I just want her clothes. Nigga, you finna wear them?
Right.
Fuck, you want the clothes? I want the ID. You want the ID? Man, that bitch a faggot, woo, woo, woo. I said, no, man, you bitch pimped on the bitch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, she got some new instructions. You know what I'm saying? The bigger the instructions, the bigger the production. And, you know, a lot of dudes like that, they just ain't got no experience because real pimps know that the hoes belong to the community, right? So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, if a bitch leave me, I'm going to give her a Chinese name, one gone. Because, you know, I like to see a hoe go. When she goes, she going to bump into two more coming into my door. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So,
you know, real niggas ain't tripping because, you know, your course done ran out. You know, it's just only the suckers that do that sucker shit. That's why we call it mispimping. You know what I'm saying? Those ain't really pimps. Those simps.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They simping. You know what I'm saying? So that's some simp shit, you know. Hey, you know, she's a faggot bitch and all that. No, man, keep the bitch in the community. I'd be glad when the hoe go to another pimp. At least she didn't go to a square.
But sometimes the community drags her like that, like this choosing ass bitch, this faggot bitch.
Now,
I'm
you
just
talking
trying to choose good pimping.
is you talking about
but the pimp isn't looked like.
Well, to the pimp's defense, that says that, right? You got some women, you know, they play games. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they play whole games. So what they doing is they being Susie Choosy. Now, Susie Choosy don't mean that a bitch is unhappy. Susie Choosy just means that she bouncing from pimp to pimp.
Right.
You know,
she's
and she's playing with pimping. You know what I mean? So that's a faggot.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because she, you know, one minute she with Ken, next minute she with Knox Bonds, next minute she with Murder Man, next minute she with Trill Wheel. She just bouncing. You know what I mean? She misguided and undecided.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So what she need is she needs some stability in her life. You know what I'm saying? And that's where, you know, the faggot and all that shit come at, right? You know what I'm saying? That is a faggot bitch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, but if you just unhappy and a guy's not giving you what you paying for, then, you know, hey man, let the buyer beware. You know what I mean? You know, you have that option. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could go to the next one. You know what I'm saying? You can, you know, choose up. You know what I'm saying? You know, you might be getting bruised up. That's might be the reason why you choose up. You might be losing up. That's might be the reason why you choose. But as long as you choose and your choice be Rolls Royce.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying?
Right. 100%. And the last one was, if you were on Drink Champs and they asked you, can women be pimps too? And you said, sure, they can be pimps. We don't respect them, but you can't be a pimp. They gotta be pimpstress.
I mean, you know, pimping just in some cases mean put it in my pocket.
Right.
You know, I think females today, you know what I'm saying, they pay each other. You know what I'm saying, they pay each other, they put money in each other's pocket, they do this, they do that. But that's not the purpose of pimping. See, you could be a hostess, but you can't be a host.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I could be a pimp, and you could call yourself a pimptress.
Right.
You know, because it's the feminine side. You know what I'm saying? You got a man and a womb band. You're a man
Right.
with a womb. So you're an incubator. So you understand me? So what you do is you take in
Right.
stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
If I give you game, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna give me some money. If I give you a chicken, you're gonna cook me some food.
Right.
If I give you some sperm, you're gonna give me a baby.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You're an incubator, and you also a helpmeet. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're here to help a man to expand his horizon.
Right.
You know, you're here to make him better.
Right.
You know, what a lot of women do is they complain. Where you going? Where you been at? Who's that in your phone? Who? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you complain, and they complain, and that, you know what I'm saying, I mean, is not a good rhythm to be matched. So, you know, it depends on, you know, the person, and, you know, it depends on the situation, you know, but every now and then, you know, a woman, you know what I'm saying, I mean, she may feel like, you know, that she can be a man, but she can never be a man, because I tell every bitch that say she a man, bitch, go to an island, bitch, and reproduce yourself. You know what I'm saying? So if you can't go to an island, bitch, and make a whole bunch of men, bitch, then, you know what I'm saying, I mean, I ain't trying to hear that shit. And then, you know, like, you know, a bitch paying another bitch, you know what I'm saying, I mean, you know, that can be interpreted many ways, you know, because, you know, the bitch that she paying might have some game. I don't think she paying the bitch. She might be paying the game that this bitch got. You know, it's like a bitch pay a pimp. She ain't got to pay a pimp. Hoes get the money first.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, the richest motherfucker on the planet is hoes at 8 o'clock at night. They got $1 million worth of trap.
Right.
You know what I mean? The pimps don't get rich until about 10, 11 at night when they check themselves, they break themselves. So, you know, hoes get the money first. And any wise pimp know that. He know that, you know what I'm saying, that the whole, you know what I'm saying, I mean, you got to have some good game, some good wisdom, some good knowledge to get the money from the hoe. So if a bitch is a soybean junior and she keeping her ears on record and a sponge on the absorb, she can absorb the game and she can go take that game and you know, you can see it, you know, if you've been around hoes that fuck with other hoes that call themselves pimp, they kind of saying the same shit that the pimp's saying. They just regurgitate what the pimp told them. And they flip the game on the bitch. And the bitch, you know what I'm saying, she just still, you know, like all bitches, looking for guidance, you know, looking for some a family, you know, looking for a father figure, looking for a mother figure.
Right.
You know, and if that person provide that need, then it's a 99.9% chance that they're gonna get paid, because hoes don't care about the money. I mean, some of them don't. You know, I could tell. I'd be like, you make $1,000 a day, you give it to this nigga? Are you serious?
Right.
You giving him $1,000 a day?
Yeah, I
You
see
know,
a lot of bad bitches with weak people.
Yeah.
Weak for sure. But I feel like that's because the industry is exploiting the game in a way that they're making it like trendy, like cool. But you can't call none of those girls a hoe. You can call me a hoe any day, but you can't call me a whore. You can't call me a slut. You gotta pay me. So that doesn't bother me. But I live this shit. I portray this shit. I transfer my skills from the streets to the suites. I'm trying to transfer the same energy, but I'm gonna move the same way.
And Barbie, Ferrari Barbie, that's what I want to teach these young people. You know, hey man, you know what you go through, you grow through. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, you can change where you've been. A lot of times people don't understand. You know, when you meet people, you're not meeting the actual person. You mean their representative, right? That's why whenever I meet somebody, I step back and I look at them. And then I judge them, because I don't want to make an emotional decision. How many times have you said, oh girl, that's my nigga, we finna movie party. And then you say, I can't believe this bitch just crossed me. You know what I'm saying? This bitch just did something foul, this faggot foul bitch. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't judge the person properly. You emotionally judge the person, and you judge the person emotionally. So a lot of times, you know, you just got to sit back, you got to, you know, await and judge the circumstance and judge the situation, and then you can make an accurate decision. You know, I give an example. I was reading this book, and they was talking about this guy by the name, I was telling my man Slab about this name, John Blunt. John Blunt was a financier. You know, he was a businessman. He was one of the greatest businessmen of all times in England. And what he did was he got all of the powerful people, all of the, you know, the businessmen, the bankers, to invest in this company that he had. It's called a shell company. They invested in this company. And he made a lot of money, made a lot of people rich. He made one lady so rich that she used to be a waitress. And she was sitting in the piers, in the VIP booth, watching, you know, a play, a Shakespeare play. And the lady that she used to work for looking up at her and say, how the hell you get in the booth?
Wow.
That's how much money that this guy was making for these people. What he was actually doing, John Blunt, was taking the money they would give for me and you and paying Peter. You know, Peter was robbing Paul to pay Peter. So Sir Isaac Newton, the guy, the great scientist, the smartest man on the planet at that time, he had 7,000 pounds, which is European money. He invested the £7 into John Blunt Company, right? And what happened was he made 20 pounds, 21 pounds, he tripled his money. And then he said, he came up with the theory of relativity. What goes up must come down. So it's coming down. So he left. Then he went back into the game and he invested again.
Wow.
A month later, he lost everything. And he said, I can understand, how we can dissect animals. I can understand how we can go to the moon. I can understand how we can do all these fabulous things, but I can't understand how we don't understand human nature.
Yeah.
He understood at that point that was an emotional decision that he made, so he made that decision out of greed. It was his greed that caused him to make an emotional decision. You know what I'm saying? But it's another thing called reason. And all of us is born and gifted with reason. Sometimes you got to have, you got to read your reason. Your daughter are your own reasoning, so you thinking is reasoning. So if you see an ox, right? An ox is this big. Ox is strong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you see somebody say, "Oh, he's strong as an ox,"
right.
You know what I'm saying? But if I got a pistol and I'm a hunter and I point at that ox, that ox don't got enough sense to reason to say, "This man about to blow my brains out,"
right?
And make some oxtails. You know what I'm saying? He don't got enough sense. The lion, the most ferocious, the most notorious of all jungle. They call him the king of the jungle.
Right.
You know what makes the lion so strong, so bad? It's his roar. That scared the shit out of other motherfuckers, animals in there. But that's his strength. But, he controlled the entire jungle. He's a ferocious hunter. But, if a lion seeing a cow, you take a cow, cut the cow in half, and you just let the meat hang out, and you put him in a cage, the lion gonna go in that cage every time to eat that meat.
Wow.
And guess what? I'm gonna pull a lever, he's gonna become somebody's zoo animal.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So we got to think. As a man think he is, as a man thinketh, so is he. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the mind believe and conceive, it can achieve. You have to reason. And your doubts are your reason. Never believe your doubts and never doubt your beliefs. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So a winner never quit and a quitter never wins. So these are the important things that we must learn. And that's what we teach at the hip hop fraternity. I got Trill Will, I got Knox Bar, I got my man, Murder Man, Cash, H2. I got some of the biggest artists in the country that's a part of our organization. We got 30 chapters around the country,
Wow.
100 executives, and 4,000 members, and we can be found at thehiphopfraternity.com. I'm a literary agent. I got Boosie movie coming out called The Making of the Autobiography of Boosie. I got Ice-T movie coming out, The Making of the Autobiography of Boosie, and we got the Hip Hop Fraternity Awards coming April 13th. So
I'll be there.
It don't make, you're gonna be one of the hosts. It don't make a difference what you go through. You know what I'm saying? What you go through, you grow through. You understand what I'm saying? Ferrari Bobby, always remember this, if you don't remember anything else. If all hell break out, if everybody leave you, if all the phone calls come in as negative, that's a good sign. Because you can't have a major breakthrough unless you have a major fall through. The great guy that invented the plastic forks, he went to 20 banks. His wife said, go to one more. He went to the 21st bank, they gave him a loan. He's the richest man in the world right now. He's a billionaire. He said, you know what? It is hardship that creates a man's character and a woman's character, because it allows you to recalibrate and become a better person.
Wow.
So you know what I'm saying? All the things that we went through, you being in the whole game, me being in the pimp game, it was a prelude to who we are today.
Right.
Now we're going to have a positive impact on young people. We're going to change people's lives.
Yes.
And that's the goal, is to be able to change people's lives. See, you're not here for yourself. You're here for the goods you could be to others. Trust me. You could be here for the good of others. So therefore, when you see people that come through life and they make contributions to society, in my book I said, don't let your history be a mystery. I'm always going to be writing books or doing something constructive, because guess what? I know I don't never want my history to be a mystery. If you're going to remember the Egyptians, you're also going to remember Ferrari and Pimpin King.
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on my first episode. I'm glad you're retired, because I don't think they could afford all this game. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all.